Happy Mother's Day, Changemakers. Welcome back to my channel. It's Julia Cha. I know so many of you have such a hard time with Mother's Day because of the difficult relationship you have with your mother, whether she's alive or she's passed away. In this video, I'm going to tell you some really healing truths that maybe you've never thought about that's going to really help you take your healing and elevation to the next level. I know most of you already have done so much healing, maybe therapy work around mother wounds. But if you're feeling like there's still some stuck in your body, there's some recurring stuff that's coming back over and over again and acting as an obstacle, this video is for you. Mother wounds are so pervasive because your mother is the first person that you have a human connection and relationship, or the lack of, with. And that relationship sets a standard of what you believe you deserve, as well as your sense of self, boundaries, and overall your self-esteem. How much you value yourself, your confidence are foundationally based on your relationship with your mother and how she viewed you, how she treated you. Mother wounds are also nurture wounds. When you are used to receiving nurture from your mother, then you believe you deserve more. You believe you deserve to be more privileged. See, this is tied to the privileged mindset. This is where it all ties in to power and power dynamics. The relationship you had with your mother sets your identity, who you believe you are, and how you fit into this world. The relationship you have with your mother also sets a standard of who you invite in romantic relationship, friendships, and the types of people that you seek out, because that relationship that you have with your mother becomes the baseline of what's familiar for you. As women, we also relate to the same gender parent. So that's why as a woman, that relationship that you have with your mother becomes more significant. If she struggled a lot, or she was a workaholic, or she was tuned out or passive, then you start to pick up those habits too, because we learn by modeling. Whether you wanted to become like her or not, part of her deeply ingrained in your psyche. If the relationship you had with her wasn't healthy, then you will frequently have a hard time with feeling happy, feeling grateful for the life that you have, or acknowledging the success that you created, seeing yourself from a positive light. So then it takes a toll on your mental health. If you're someone who's observed that happiness doesn't seem to stick around for very long, then this is a sign and symptom of nurture wounds. When you have the lack of nurture as the baseline standard, the consequence of that is a scarcity mindset. You see the world through the lens of lack, pain, fear, and the actions that you take are out of reactivity from that fear rather than leaning into the possibility, which is the abundant mindset. The concepts and perspectives I'm going to share with you today help you elevate into that abundant mindset. Please note that this video is not meant to replace therapy and other types of healing that you must do, because this is a very complex area that takes persistence and consistency to heal from. First of all, no matter who you are or how you feel about yourself, you were the perfect course of miracle, the perfect curation of spiritual awakening growth for your mother. That means how you came about into the world, the timing of when which you were born, the conditions surrounding your birth and your entrance into the world, your character, whatever has caused inconvenience, whatever your talents were, all of that combination together was the perfect gift for your mother. She leaned into the role of being a great mother to you. She would have ascended spiritually. I said would have because few mothers actually take on the task. Whether you believe in God or a higher power, the law of nature is a miracle itself. If your mother had leaned in, you were the most perfect combination of a gift, so specifically tailored and curated for your mother, for her growth and ascension, for her to heal from her pains and wounds that are so deep and generational. Now, here's the deal. Even if you get the best course, let's say that you purchased the best course or gifted the best book that will completely help you, has all the answers that you were always looking for inside the content, you receive it, but you never look into it. You carry the course or the book around like It's an obligation rather than opening it up, leaning into it, taking time with it, and really embodying and learning those lessons. Then it doesn't matter how amazing the course or the book is, you will not grow. Instead, you will see it as an inconvenience that you have to carry it around all the time. If you had a hurtful mother, then this is the approach that she took with you. It was the perfect gift for her ascension to heal from her deep wounds and shadows. The next perspective that's going to really help you is to accept her capacity. Instead of trying to fix her or change her now, which is just difficult on you, or looking back and wishing that she had done differently, is only going to keep hurting you. Mother wounds are like a spiritual wound. When you had a mother who was harmful towards you, was punitive, or enabling others to harm you, didn't protect you, or she was absent, even if she didn't mean to be absent, let's say that she was really sick all the time, or she passed away, the way you internalize the pain is a spiritual type of wounding. It's so deep in your psyche, it's in your body. The way to release that is to work with your body. Even if you're doing a lot of the somatic work, if you're not aiming your mindset towards a helpful direction, it doesn't matter how much body work you do, you will not have the healing effect that you're looking for. Now, as an adult, you must grow beyond being the child, playing the child's role. And if you're still wishing that your mother would be different, you're still living an emotional childhood. Even though you are physically no longer a child, you are an adult. When you keep wishing that she was different or that she would change or the past would have been different, then you are living an emotional childhood because you keep staying in the paradigm of you being the child and her being the authority, the mother and the leader. Instead, you have to understand she was emotionally stunted. She's emotionally immature. She is a wounded child within. It's not a question of fairness. Realize her capacity. If she was able to change, she would have already. If she still hasn't changed or she is completely oblivious, she's still telling you that your perspective and your hurt is nonsense, or she's left this world and you feel like you're stuck with the wound and unable to reconcile because she's no longer here, those are very unhelpful thoughts. That's a form of being stuck in fixed mindset. What's going to help you process and leap beyond this wound is to upgrade your spiritual and emotional self to be the leader in the dynamic. In human relationships, the more aware person is the leader. You are capable of managing this relationship because you have the awareness. You understand that this was dysfunctional. It wasn't right. You understand what would have made it right. So from that perspective, you have to be the leader and guide that relationship now. You need to hold adult boundaries, meaning you're no longer going to react the way you used to. When you were a child, when dealing with your mother, you are not going to have the same expectations you had most of your life, hoping that she will show up, hoping that she'll change, hoping that she'll say all the right things that you've been begging or wishing and hoping that she would do. You're releasing those expectations because you don't need that from her. When you were young, you needed that approval, validation, and nurture from her. She's shown you that that was beyond her capacity. And being able to accept people's capacity is extended empathy and emotional intelligence development. Instead of seeing people through your own lens, your experiences, understand your mother through her lens and her experiences. Most of you don't really know your mother. You know her as your mother, but you don't really know how her life went. You don't really know her struggles. Typically, when you don't have a close, loving relationship with your mother, you get little glimpses of stories of what she had to live through. You don't have a realistic picture of what kind of life she had. You also may cognitively understand that she had a different condition, the society that she was living in, the social, economic, and political environment that she grew up in and that she was fighting against. You have some idea of what she had to go through, but again, you're interpreting it through your own lens and your experiences. Instead, understand this: no matter what society or what culture your mother was raised in, she was raised in strong patriarchy, and she was forced to become the good girl. She was deeply oppressed. An oppressed woman doesn't have a sense of self. She doesn't have healthy level of self-esteem and confidence. You're expecting from your mother something that she clearly showed you, that based from her experiences and the level of oppression that she experienced, she's not able to meet your expectations, and that is the hurt that you're experiencing. When you see people for their capacity, where their mindset is, and realizing that change is not just for anybody. Many people may desire change, but the people who actually end up changing, they've had to go through a lot of ups and downs. They've had to come across many obstacles and have incredible resilience. And many women who grew up during your mother's times, they didn't have even the right education, the condition, even social media. To be watching a video like this is the privilege that your mother never had. The amount of free information that we have now, and even though it's far from perfect, the types of women that you see now in the media are far more successful, and there's far more representation than what your mother could have ever seen in her formative conditioning period, meaning in her childhood. What we see, experience, and observe in our childhood has the deepest impact when it comes to forming what we believe is possible, our sense of self. We model after other humans, and we were given access to many aspects. The internet has created a whole different type of healing and understanding of the human condition. Even having access to high education, you have to understand that her mind is the way it is, and her mind cannot go beyond where it needs to go to be a good mother. She is incapable of freeing herself. When somebody is so wounded, so deeply wounded, to the level that perhaps even you and I can't comprehend, then that person becomes extremely selfish, and a selfish person cannot see the needs of a child, and that's what creates a bad parent. So no matter what difficult experience you had with your mother, it's time that you stop taking it personally. Release that and let it go. Everything she was doing, much of that, they were just coping mechanisms, and her programming that has conditioned her that this is the way to survive. The limitations and the selfishness that comes from such deep oppression have nothing to do with you and your value. When the pain and the hurt is no longer personal, then you can have boundaries about the expectations that she has put on you. What makes her happy is not what makes you happy. You have a clear understanding of what you like to do and how you like to approach making decisions in your adult life, whether that's a career choice, how you spend your time, and even whether you choose to have children or stay single. These types of important life choices that truly a parent cannot make for a child. You need to choose yourself in this relationship, and that's what's going to accelerate your healing. If you don't know what that is, then it's time for you to focus on yourself rather than focus on the pain that she caused you. Your mother does not understand the difference between fear and love. A lot of the pain that she caused you was because she was trying to control you out of fear. Fear that maybe you turn out to be a loser. Fear that maybe you won't be good enough, and then that will mean that she's not good enough. A lot of the hurt that was caused was driven by fear because she's never experienced love and she doesn't know what that feels like. Here's what love looks and feels like. I have children and they're in their teen years. I've told them that they do not need to take care of me. Culturally, I'm Korean, you're supposed to take care of your parents. But I learned through my experience that expectations can be so burdening for children, and that format may have worked in the past, but with the conditions that we live in right now, I want my children to learn to take care of themselves and learn to be happy on their own with their own decisions and the lifestyle that they choose. So I made it very clear to them that they are in no way obligated to take care of me. But what I would like us to have is a long-term, loving, healthy, truthful connection where we genuinely love being in each other's company and experiencing the best things that life has to offer and sharing all of that together. Fear is control. Love is freedom, connection, and unity. Even if you never had a parent who can give you that, you can make that your new standard and make decisions that reflect love rather than fear. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this video. Make some comments down below. A few things are happening this summer. I will be in Spain at the end of June, and we're hosting a live meet and greet. So those of you who are in Europe or those of you who are anywhere in the world would like to come to that as a part of your vacation and fit this in, I would love to meet you in person. In a live setting, the transformational energy expands. It's something that doesn't transcend through screen. It is a complete different vibe. Through screen is also effective, but live experiences, because your body is feeling and experiencing it, is something beyond what we can explain through words, or it's not an experience that we can effectively recreate through the screen. So if you're able to make it to that in Spain, the live event in Spain, please go down to the link below, and there's a link where you can put in some suggestions. This is just a suggestion form. It's not the actual registration. Because it is a live event, we care about security and safety. So the location will not be announced publicly. So you have to be on the list. When you put in your interest, we will send you the registration when we have all the details, and then the location will be revealed when you register. If you'd like to join our last cohort until fall of Unleashed Social Elegance Accelerator, learning how to navigate this difficult power dynamics while taking intersectionality into account, how you come across to others and where you fit in the power hierarchy and how you come across, then this is the last cohort before September 2024. So if you are ready to get to the next level, then you need to go down and book a call with me to get started. We are starting this session on May 17th at noon PST. And this runs for 10 weeks. I will be in different parts of the world during the 10 weeks. Have a beautiful, nurturing Mother's Day because you are made of love. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.